Every so often I cross paths with an alum who's done interesting things or been interesting places, and after we get talking, it occurs to me that they probably have a message that is worthy of you to hear. And so that's what we have today. So please welcome a graduate class of 2008, Adrienne Jacobs.
Good morning. I'm here today to talk to you about the world. There are so many ways that we understand our world through our parents, our communities, and our politics and our school. Each of you understands your world differently because each of you represents a unique part of the fabric that makes us, as a global people, a complete whole. My journey as a worldly person began here as well. When I sat in these seats 5 years ago, the one thing I knew about myself, without a doubt, is that for the rest of my life, I wanted to travel. I didn't care where. I just knew that I had to see the world and understand its most complex secrets, of which I knew none at the time. My undergraduate studies began in New York City at Marymount Manhattan College. I figured that the best way to start learning about the secrets of the world was to go somewhere that was the complete opposite of everything that I had ever known. I began studying international relations under the instruction of some of the most intelligent and respected people I know, including a United Nations aid worker and a Palestinian correspondent to Al Jazeera. In New York City, I learned what I believe to be the first secret of the world. It is enormous and full of incredible things. And for me, some of those things were as simple as skyscrapers and as scary as being without a job. In the summer after my second year, I took an internship at the International Rescue Committee, which is the world's largest refugee, resettlement, and conflict response organization. For 6 weeks, I worked with everyday people who spent their 9-to-5s trying to solve the magnitude of problems our world is facing, starting with its people. This is where I not only discovered the career path I wanted to follow, but also my second secret of the world. It is full to the brim of starving, poor, jobless, homeless, suffering, and sick people who have little or no access to clean water, no say in their governments, hardly the resources to provide for their families, and who often live in unsafe places, either due to disease, war, or climate change. I spent that summer learning about the lucky ones who had been rescued over the decades, and I was inspired by the stories of the people who had been there to help. That fall, I did a semester abroad in Berlin, Germany, and I fell in love with the quality and way of life in Europe. After my semester, I took a break from my studies, bounced from one city to the next until I landed in the city where I am now, Heidelberg, where I will finish my undergrad studies this April. As a side note, and in addition to the overarching message of this talk, I'd like to emphasize the importance of learning foreign languages. From my time in Germany, I've become fluent in spoken and written German, and only that has given me a complete understanding of the culture, the people, and the way of life. Language is the most basic element of culture, and the more languages you know, the more you'll learn about the world. I'd like to believe that in these 5 years, I've learned a good foundation to begin solving the problems of the world. But I've also learned another secret. The issues we face today, global warming, widespread poverty, house and joblessness, large-scale conflict, and so many more, are all interrelated. Did you know that the biofuel legislation in Europe can be connected to the skyrocketing food prices in Latin America and Southeast Asia? There's no one solution to these problems, and there's no one field you can study, and no one job you can have that will make the problems go away. In the course of learning about these issues, what makes them better or worse, how governments help or not, I know that the core of the solution is the passion to help others in need and the motivation to do it. Because I know some of the world's secrets and am learning new ones every day, I am able to bring myself outside of myself for the greater good. My message to you is just that. Bring yourself outside of yourself to face the challenges of the world. Start here with trigonometry tests and AP exams, and then face the greater challenge of discovering the world for yourself. Take the secrets that you learn and use them as tools to create positive change in the world that will not only benefit your community, but is also fulfilling to you, yourself. You hear it every year. Be the change that you want to see in the world. And now I'm telling you too, to change the world because you all can. Thank you.
Thank you, Adrienne. Nothing makes a headmaster or a teacher prouder than see one of our graduates come back and be as articulate and as accomplished as you are in just 5 years, in what is an unconventional path in some ways, but in a way that I'm sure is going to make the world a better place. And thank you for your inspiring message this morning.